Hi yogis, we're going to try about a 35 or 40-minute yoga for strength class. It'll be flow based and you will likely see several of my furry family members, so I apologize in advance for the barking that you might hear. For this class it'll be helpful to have 2 blocks. If you don't have 2 blocks, especially these days, everybody's got canned food around, so canned food can be a nice little form of resistance, so you might try that. And let's get going. We'll start with just a real brief seated centering. So if you would just come to a comfortable seat, let yourself settle in, and just start to begin to notice how you feel in your body. Notice the natural ebb and flow of your breath, the places in your body where you feel the breath. Notice the state of your mind. You might have some distractions going on at home as well. And just kind of observe them and then let them go. If you haven't yet, begin to lengthen and deepen the breath and keep it fairly comfortable and natural. Just a slightly longer inhalation and a slightly deeper exhalation. And let's begin moving with our breath. So if you would come to hands and knees, we'll take a few rounds of cat-cow from tabletop. Bringing the shoulders over the wrists and the hips over the knees. Inhaling, lifting the heart, lifting the tailbone. Exhaling, drawing navel into spine, allowing the back of the head to release down toward the floor. Continue to move like that with your breath as your guide. Inhaling again, chest lifts, gaze might come up. Exhaling, pushing the floor away, feeling the shoulder blades move off the back. We'll just do a few more rounds like that. Inhaling and exhaling. Let your breath really be your guide here. It's so important, especially in times like this when we're all feeling a little stressed and anxiety, to let the breath be full and complete. Let the breath create movement in the body. And then after your next cycle, make your way back to a tabletop. And we're going to do what I call tabletop hover. So again, with shoulders mindfully stacked over the wrists and the hips over the knees, we're going to curl the toes under. Draw your navel in toward your spine and lift your knees off the floor. The higher they are, the easier it will be. So if you want to make it a little bit more challenging for yourself, knees are going to hover just a millimeter or 2 off the floor. Good. Feel that continued sense of pushing the floor away. You're gripping the floor just a little bit through the finger pads. And then on your next exhale, knees down. You can sit back on your heels if that feels good. And we're going to do that 2 more times. All right, so setting yourself up first. This time adding a little isometrics here. So isometric is a muscular contraction without physical movement. So you're going to come back to your tabletop hover. We're going to lift knees off the floor and then imagine you're trying to bunch up the mat right underneath your face. So thumbs isometrically moving toward each other. As if you're trying to take your thumbs to touch, but they're not actually moving. You'll feel muscles in your chest start to work. You got there for 5. Keep holding for 3, 2. Good. And then again, knees to the floor. You can shake those hands out. And we'll do it one more time. This time, you're going to imagine you're trying to tear your mat lengthwise, so isometrically pulling the hands apart. So again, there's not actual physical movement. Go ahead and lift your knees off the floor, draw your navel in, push the floor away, and then imagine you're trying to tear your mat in half, as if you're trying to take your pinkies to the outer edges of the mat. You've got 5. You've got 4, 3, 2. Nice. Go ahead and release that down. And again, we'll sit back on our heels. If you're not comfortable with that, you can sit in a cross-legged position, or my favorite is just to sit on a block here. And then you'll need that other block or your can, one of your cans. We're going to take the block between both palms. And this is, again, isometric. So we're going to squeeze the block, and we'll start low. So you're going to take the block just about navel height, belly button height, and then give it a nice firm squeeze. Whew. We're going to be here for about 10 seconds, and we're just going to do this once down low, once medium height, and then once up high. Good, good. Keep squeezing. You're here for 5. You're here for 4. You're here for 3 more. 2, squeeze, 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 and then release. Again, you can do this with a can if you want to. This time we're taking it up to about chest height. And my other cat, I think, is about to make an appearance here. Good, real firm squeeze of the can or whatever prop you're using. It might be a water bottle. Hi, Tito. And then this time, let's move up without taking your break. So you're going to take the can or the block about eye height, maybe forehead height. Squeeze for 10. Actually, we're down to about 5, 4, 3, 2, good. And then go ahead and release. I don't know, man. All right, let's move on. So we're going to move from here. And again, you'll want to prop close to your tabletop. And I'm going to use my can this time because I have a little bit more weight to it. Okay, set yourself up in your tabletop. We'll take right hand forward, thumb faces up. Gaze is going to be down at the floor. Left leg extends out. You guys know this is bird dog pose. You do it almost every practice. Keep breathing, low ribs drawing in so you're not sagging in the low back. You've got 5. Keep breathing. 3, 2, nice. And then just a slow and delicate switch to the other side, starting with left hand, thumb up, back of the neck long, other leg extends back. All right, so we're going to repeat that this time if you want to, and we're going to add on. You're going to add on your prop. So we've got right hand reaching, block or can, okay? Try to stay relaxed to the back of the neck, shoulder, left leg extends back. Okay, lifting inner upper thigh of your extended leg. Stay here, or if you want a little bit more challenge, you're going to take your right hand out to the right about 8 inches, left leg out to the left about 8 inches. Bring it on back to center, but don't put it down yet. Bring it back to center. 5 times, knee to elbow. Keep reaching, and then exhale, knee to elbow. Take your prop with you, and then inhale, extend. Good, we got 4 more. Exhale to tuck. Inhale, lengthen. One more. Extend, reach. Nice, and then set it down. All right, we'll switch sides. So again, block or prop doesn't matter, even that water bottle, a little bit of water in it. We're going to take left hand out, give the prop a nice squeeze, right leg extends out, low belly draws in. Stay here if you want a little bit more challenge. You're going to take everything out to the side just a bit. Do your best to keep your back foot toes pointing toward the floor. That'll be your right leg most likely. Toes pointing down, inner thigh lifting up. Swing it on back to center 5 times. Exhale and crunch. Take your prop with you. And then inhale, reach for 5. We got 4 more. Nicely done. Child's pose if you like it, or down dog if you're ready. Child's pose can be a nice opportunity just to get off your hands a little bit. And catch your breath. All right, let's take a downward facing dog, please, together. And when you get there, just take some time, moving and grooving in your dog. See what it presents today, especially if this is your first dog of the day. Certainly pedal out the legs. Press through one heel, maybe shift forward and back. time, make your way just to some stillness. Taking an opportunity again to connect to your breath. Feeling the upper back broaden and the shoulders soften. Feel your connection again through the inner edges of the hands, the mounds of each finger, the pads of each finger. And then slowly, in any way you want, bend the knees and make your way to the front edge of the mat, please. Bring your feet right underneath your hips. And then with a nice bend in the knees, please press down. Inhale, come all the way up to stand. Good. All right, and you have a nice view of my tush and not so much of my head, so bear with me. We'll be moving again in a second here. Deep breath, breathe in. Exhale, let it go and fold. Good, inhale, lift halfway, belly from thighs. Exhale, plant your hands, step back, push-up position. This is our upper push-up position or plank. You're welcome to bring your knees to the floor. Want to see the navel drawing in, push the floor away, and again, keep that strong movement through the hands. So you're on toes or on knees. We're here for 5. We're here for 4. 3. If you're going to lower through chaturanga, find that shift forward. Otherwise, knees down first. We lower down, the elbows drawing back. Locust pose when you arrive. Toes point, hands reach back, back of the neck long. Take a full deep breath in, pushing through plank or tabletop, downward facing dog. On your in-breath, right leg floats up. On your out-breath, right knee, right elbow. Can you actually touch it? That way if you can. And then inhale it back. We're going to do that 4 more times. Exhale, knee to elbow. Inhale it back. After your 5th one, crescent lunge. So tap the elbow. Inhale, come up, high lunge. Exhale, hands plant, back foot steps forward. Exhale. Inhale into a half lift. Let it go as you fold. We come all the way up to stand, bend the knees. Palms come to heart center before we switch sides. Deep breath, big reach. Let it go, Uttanasana, forward fold. Inhale, realign into the shins. Use the muscles of the back to lift you. Exhale, push-up position. Let's add a push-up here. If you want to, take your push-up, come back to your plank, lower down through your chaturanga. Locust pose again. Take a nice cycle of breath. We push again through plank or tabletop to downward facing dog. Other leg this time. Feel cemented, grounded, even through the hands. Inhale your left leg up 5 times with the exhale. Left knee, left elbow. On your 5th one, high lunge, aka crescent lunge. Find a foundation, press down, rise up, just for a breath. With your exhale, hands come to the floor, back foot steps through. Take a moment here. Give yourself a moment here. And then with weight evenly distributed, come up to stand, please. Inhale. All right, so I'm going to grab my props again. Encourage you to do the same. If you happen to have some legit weights, you can use those too. These are going to be a little heavy, but all our light weights are at the studio. So we're going to do 10 chair squats. So you can even just use 1 dumbbell. You can have them on your thighs. You can have them in hands. So you're setting up for chair. And then we're going to go exhale into your chair. Inhale, come up to stand. There's 1. Squeeze in the back of the hips. Squeezing the back of the legs, front of the legs as you come up to stand. Good. We've got the feet still hips distance apart. The hips drawing back more than the knees moving forward. And the low belly drawing in. On your 10th one, and I've lost count, you know me, set your weights down, forward fold, inhale, lengthen. Exhale, step back to your downward facing dog. On your in-breath, right leg floats up, we'll step through, grabbing maybe your props or your blocks on the way. Come back to your crescent lunge. This is our high lunge, we've been here before. And we're gonna do bicep curls to an overhead press. And all our rep ranges are going to be 10 or 12 today. So, bicep curl, bring the weight up to your shoulders, and then pressing overhead. Maintaining your crescent lunge. Exhale as you press overhead. Inhale as you release things down. When you get to your 10th one and there's no rush to keep up with me or to go as slow as me, you're going to set the props down or your weights down and take your front foot back, plank pose. Can you then hover that back foot off the mat, turn the inner thigh up, stay here, or take your leg out to the side? Hold it. Keep holding it. You got 5. You got 4, 3, 2. Push up or no push up. Back bend, which is your locust pose. Back of the neck long. Pushing through plank or tabletop. Downward facing dog. Left side, left leg floats. Inhale. Crescent lunge, exhale. Grab your props, whatever they might be. Second set, last set of this. Come on up. Draw the shoulders back, chest lifted. Beautiful, breathe. We've got 10 curls to press. So you exhale and press. Inhale. Try to keep a nice deep lunge. It's easy to forget what the legs are doing when you've got your arms working, trying to balance at the same time. And that pesky little thing called breath. After your 10th one, props go down. Front foot's going to step back, push up position. Stay here or float your left leg, abduct it, take it out to the side a little bit, bring the inward toes down toward the floor. Whew. We're here for 5, for 4, 3, 2. Bring it on back. Take a push up or skip your push up. Cobra, locust, or up dog. Downward facing dog on your out breath. And then a step or a hop will take you back to our last chair pose. But we're going to add the squats back. So if you want, grab your props. Cans or no cans, blocks maybe even. And set them on your thighs, hold them in front of your heart. It's going to be an inhale and an exhale. After your 10th one, re-forward fold, opportunity to put your props down and just enjoy a moment of release there. Whew. But it won't last very long. So if you're feeling a little stuck in the hamstrings, grab your blocks or your cans or water bottle. We're going to stand on our right leg, warrior three, supported warrior three. Good. Again, work on spinning the inner upper thigh of your lifted leg toward the ceiling. Remember, everything today is in 10 repetitions. We're going to do 10 deadlifts or staggered stance deadlifts. So a deadlift, and you can do this with your cans if you want, is going to be here. We stand up and come back. A staggered stance deadlift, you're just going to bring that back foot to the floor and let it be like a kickstand, so it helps with the balance a little bit. And it's just as effective if you can keep most of the weight on your front leg. So it's a great strengthener for the glute max of the standing leg, hamstrings of the standing leg, and the outer hip stabilizers. After your 10th one, whichever variation you've got going on, step back into a warrior two. So left foot will step back. Find your stance, heel to heel. Move so you can see me a little bit better. And then we're going into lateral raises. So you can use your dumbbells, you can use your blocks, you can use your can, you could use the air, doing 10. Hi, 10. 1. Triangle pose from here. Please set your props down carefully. First few breaths here, just enjoy finding your version of the pose. Feel the big toe mound and the little toe mound of both feet, even on the mat. Inner and outer edges of both heels. And then we're going to do what I call leg shavers. So that the bottom hand, and you can use your light prop if you want to. It's going to slide up your shin and back down. Got 10. As much as you can, you're real light on this bottom hand, real light, so you're not pushing on your shin. You're just kind of using it as a frame of reference. Okay. After your 10th one, refine your lunge. We'll take extended side angle with variation. So extended side angle, resting very lightly on the front thigh. Now the weight is in our top hand. Then do front raises here for 10. 1, 2, 3. The lower belly drawing in, the breath still flowing full. All right, let's move to a vinyasa to get to the other side. So set your props down, clear your mat, because you're not going to kick any dumbbells. Add your push-up here if you want to. Take your back bend, whichever you'd like. Go back to downward facing dog. And a step or a hop brings you forward into your fold. Take a full cycle of breath. And use your inhale, please, to press down and rise up to standing. We switch sides. Deep breath, reach. Exhale, forward fold over bent knees. Standing on your left leg, right leg comes up behind you. We're in a supported version of Warrior Three, supported by your hands on the floor or blocks. We're soup cans. Okay, lightly step back, and I'm going to switch sides so I can still face you. Lightly step back to your Warrior Two and grab your props. Lateral raises for 10. Shoulders square over the hips. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. After your 10th one, props down, Trikonasana, triangle pose, so that front hip draws under. Find your prop if you'd like to. Feel the top ribs drawing back, top shoulder and chest drawing up. First couple of breaths, we're just settling in and enjoying the release of that left waist. All right, then we got 10 of these. Exhale as you come up. So you can initiate the movement from this side of your waist, from the top waist side. This is the stuff that's working to bring you up. So a little bend in your front knee. That'll ensure that your muscles are working, that you're not resting in your joint. Okay, and after your 10th one, we're going into our extended side angle variation. And set your props down. I'm gonna, I'll keep my soup can. So settle into your pose first. Remember, we're real light here, keeping the shoulder down away from the ear on that side. And then we'll do 10 front raises. So the weight or your block is coming up right in front of you. Okay. After your 10th one, move through your last vinyasa. Get in that last push-up maybe. All right. I'm not sure how much battery I've got, but let's try one more little drill here. We're going to move from a boat pose to a little bit of core work, more core work. It's called Lulasana. So helpful to have blocks. You don't have to have blocks for this, but it's really helpful too. This is not something you'll want to do on your cans. Let's figure it out together. We'll do a boat pose. Remember, lots of variations for boat. The first is to take your legs out in front of you and lean back on your hands. Draw shoulders wide. Maybe just lift one foot or the other foot, or maybe both feet, still using your hands. If you make it a little bit harder, the hands can reach forward toward the feet. Remember, low belly is drawing in, spine stays long. So we've got kind of a corset effect happening from all of the muscles through the midsection, keeping your spine long, protecting your spine, and getting stronger. Okay, and you can always support your legs with your hands. If that's too easy, maybe one leg extends or the other, or both. I'm going to do 3 sets of these, so be prepared. Alright, so from here we're going into something called Lulasana, or pendant pose, I believe. And so I'm going to turn to face you so you can see what I'm doing. The block's going to be right beside my hips. You're going to push down, and you can do this on the floor. You just won't have as much space to lift your hips. a little bit more gratifying, I guess, somehow with the blocks. You lift your hips. If you're really super strong, maybe you lift everything. I'm not that strong. Just do your best. Try to get everything off the floor. Hug everything into a little ball. We're here for 5, 4, 3, 2. Lower it down. Boat pose, second set. We're doing about 15-second holds here. Not super long, but not super short. Breathe, lengthen, engage. Okay, second set, Lalasana. So maybe you're seated here, you're just gonna lift your booty off the floor a little bit, hug the navel in. Hang on a little bit more. All right, last set. Any version. Remember, you've got the supported one by your hands, supported behind the legs. Maybe no hands. Keep lifting and lengthening. Keep breathing. Got about 5, 4, 3, 2. All right, last time, little lift. Okay, so it's not just lifting, a little bit of a curl as well through the pelvis. So low abs working and drawing in and up. Helping to lift the legs if you want to work on that. You can have legs extended too. You got about 5, 4, 3, 2. All right, let's stretch it out. You set your props aside. Set it for a bridge pose, please. So we've got heels underneath the hips, upper back, shoulders will become your foundation there. The heels under the knees, we press the hips up. Still help release the hip flexors a little bit. And with this, some light pressure on the back of the head. You just want to keep your gaze up if your eyes are open. Keep lengthening your tailbone towards your knees. And breathe. And we are going to turn this into a little bit of work, so stay here and just enjoy a mild stretch if you want to. Otherwise, we're going to release the hips down just a smidge lower. Shift your weight into your right foot and extend your left. See if you can keep your thighs parallel to each other. If you want to make it easier, you can take the legs straight up in the air. It's not a ton easier, but a little bit easier. And just again, try to keep the hips level. We're here for 5. Not super long. 3, 2, and we're going to go right into the other side. So set that foot down. Extend the other leg. Watch that hip. Keep it from dipping. Breathe. Got about 5,